All right, in this first problem, well, first off, actually, whenever we set this up and calculate for either density, mass, or volume, I'm going to show you what the equation is for each of these three. So density is actually already listed for you. And your unit for density is going to be the unit for mass divided by the unit for volume. So it could be grams per milliliter. Okay? Or grams per centimeter cubed. Sometimes you may even see it as grams per liter, but that's a little less common. A lot of times you might use that if you are if you're using density for gases. All right, now the equation for mass. Okay, I'm going to show you how to actually get this over here. So the equation for mass, if you have density, which is equal to mass divided by volume, to get mass by itself, I need to move volume away from it. So if I'm dividing by volume, what's the opposite of division? Multiplication. So I have to multiply both sides by volume. That'll cancel volume over here, and that will give me mass is equal to density times volume. Okay? So that's going to be your equation. Mass equals density times volume. And my unit for mass is going to be gram. Everybody with me so far on that? Now, to find volume, I need to move density. Okay? So if I'm multiplying, what is the opposite of multiplication? Division. So you're going to divide both sides by density in this case, and that will give you volume by itself. So volume is going to be equal to mass divided by density. All right, and my volume unit is either going to be milliliters or centimeters cubed. And like I said, sometimes you might see it in liters, but that's generally going to be for volume of a gas. All right. Now, let's take a look at our first actual question here. It says calculate the density of a material that has a mass of 52.457 grams and a volume of 13.57 cubic centimeters. All right, so first thing, we need to figure out what our equation is. So what are we trying to solve for here? What does it say in the first three words? Brian? Calculate the density. So we are solving for density. So we are going to use this first equation right here of density equals mass divided by volume. So go ahead and plug that into the first box. All right. Now the substitution is where you actually plug in the numbers. Okay? So we have density, which is equal to the mass. And look right here. Is this the mass or is this the mass? The first one, okay? Because it has units of grams. So it's 52.457 grams divided by 13.5 cubic centimeters. And then if we go ahead and plug that into our calculator, we get 52.457 divided by 13.5. Okay, so that's a lot of decimals. But your math answer, that's what your calculator is giving you. So 3.885703704. Okay. And then the last box right there, you're giving your sig fig answer and units. So who remembers what is our rule with division? We report our answer to the least number of sig figs. So if you look right here, this top number, 52.457, how many sig figs does it have? Just go ahead and hold them up on your fingers. 5. All right, all those are non-zeros, so those are all significant. What about the bottom? 3. Very good. So that means that I need to round my answer to 3 sig figs. So I'm going to keep the 3, the 8, and then this last 8 is going to be the last number I keep. I look at the next digit, it's a 5, so that means I'm rounding the last 8 up to a 9. So 3.89. And my units are grams per cubic centimeter. What? All right. So these next two, same thing. You're calculating for the density in both of those. So I'm going to go ahead and actually flip to the next page, page 8. And take a look at number 4 there at the top. It says the density of silver is 10.49 grams per cubic centimeter. If a sample of pure silver has a volume of 12.993 cubic centimeters, what would the mass be? So what are we solving for here? Solving for mass. Okay, solving for mass. So if you go back and look, your equation for mass is density times volume. So that's going to be the equation that we plug in right here. Mass equals density times volume. M equals dV. Okay. All right. Yeah, go real quick. All right. Now, the next box, we're going to go ahead and substitute in our numbers. So, mass is equal to density. Which one of these is density? This one or this one? First or second? Should be the first if you look at the units. Okay, and it says the density of silver is 10.49. So, plug that in. 10.49 grams per cubic centimeter. And then times the volume. Kind of tight on room here. That's your other number, 12.993 cubic centimeters. All right, plug those numbers into the calculator. We got 10.49 times 12.993. And your math answer is 136.29657. All right, how many sig figs can I keep here? Just hold it up. How many can I keep? All right, it should be 4. The 10.49 has 4 sig figs. That 0 is significant because it's captive. It's in between the 1 and the 4. So keeping 4 sig figs, I'm going to keep the 1, 3, 6, and then the 2 is going to be the last digit. But the next digit's a 9, so I'm going to round that 2 up to a 3. So that's going to make this 136.3. And what's our unit? Solving for mass. Maddie? Grams. Okay? Grams. So 136.3 grams should be your final answer there. All right. Go ahead and skip down to number 7. It says pure gold has a density of 19.32 grams per cubic centimeter. How large, meaning what is its volume, would a piece of gold be if it had a mass of 318.97 grams? All right, so in this one, we are solving for volume. And if we look back on the first page, volume is equal to mass divided by density. So we can plug that in. Volume is equal to mass divided by density. All right, and then for our substitution, we plug in the numbers. So volume is equal to the mass. Which one's the mass? First number or second number? The second number. So 318.97 grams. And then we're dividing that by the density, which is 19.32 grams per cubic centimeter. All right. So go ahead and plug those in. You get 318.97 divided by 19.32. And we get a really big, long decimal number. So 16.5098337. All right, how many sig figs can I keep for this number? Just go ahead and hold it up. All right, this one should be 4 because the bottom number has 4 sig figs, top number has 5, so you want to keep the least. So we keep the 1, 6, 5, and that 0 is going to be the last digit, but the next digit's a 9, so you actually round that 0 up to a 1. So 16.51. And what is my unit here? Brody?
Cubic centimeters.
Cubic centimeters. .51 cubic centimeters. Anybody have any questions on how to do these? All right, I'm going to give you maybe 15 minutes or so, and I want you to work through the ones that we did not do. So that gives you 6 problems to work through. Whenever you get finished, let us know. We'll come around and check it.